What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hi, I'm Kaylin. I am 25 and I film a lot of entrepreneurship, lifestyle, and productivity content. Welcome to the most requested video ever on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Amazon FBA. What is Amazon FBA? How I left my corporate 9-to-5 and started my own business, and just self-employment tips and tricks that I have learned throughout almost 2 years now of being self-employed. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I just finished filming this video about 5 minutes ago. I was in a nice shirt, I had my hair done, and I absolutely hated the way it turned out. So I got comfy. We're gonna refilm this again. If you guys know me, you guys know I love to be comfy. I just wanna be comfy, cozy, and teach you guys about Amazon FBA and how to start this business if you're interested. I made an outline of everything that I want to cover in this video, so that way I don't forget anything. We have, what is Amazon FBA, the types of business models, how to find products to sell, how, to know if they're gonna be good. So we're gonna cover it all in this video, and I wanna be as transparent as possible because I know it can be hard to find women in the industry. First of all, I know it's a very male-dominated industry, and it can be hard to find genuine information without people just trying to force a course on you. And trust me, some of the information that these gurus are selling is definitely not the most accurate, not the most realistic. If you guys are new here, please make sure to like this video and subscribe down below, and let's hop into it. Okay, so for those of you who watch my channel, you guys probably already know this, you've heard this 1,000 times, but for those of you who are new here, I just thought I would talk a little bit about my journey before Amazon, what led me to Amazon, and kind of where we're at right now in our business. So let's rewind back to middle of June 2021. I was at my corporate 9-to-5 job, absolutely hated it. I always knew that entrepreneurship was something that I've always wanted to do. Devin, my partner, we've been together for 10 years. We've actually been trying to just start an e-commerce business on and off since we were probably about 19 or 20. We've tried building our own websites, we've tried drop shipping. I actually went to college for entrepreneurship, and I just knew that my 9-to-5 was a means to save money and to start a business. I just didn't know what that business was. With that in mind, I was saving, and I ended up quitting my job middle of June of 2021, completely spontaneously. I walked downstairs, I told Devin, I'm like, I just quit my job. Definitely earlier than I was planning, but I will say it did kind of light that fire inside of me, put my back against the wall. So fast forward to August of 2021, Devin actually quit his job as well. I was doing content creation in the meantime and working on growing my YouTube channel. And we decided, okay, let's look into e-commerce again. Let's try to start our own business again. Now is the time to do it. We're both unemployed. Let's become self-employed. So we're looking into e-commerce. We're looking into building our own website, building our own brand. And that's when we actually came across Amazon FBA. Amazon FBA within the past year, I would say, has completely blown up, whereas in 2021 it was something that you really didn't see unless you were really looking for it, unless you're looking into Shopify or e-commerce, whereas now I feel like everybody knows about it. It's all over TikTok and Instagram. But before, this was like when it was a lot less popular and you really had to look for it. We came across Amazon FBA and we were like, okay, do we want to do this, or do we want to actually create our own website, our own brand, and go that route again? We decided to go with Amazon FBA for a few reasons. The first one is that we didn't have to create our own website. We could actually sell as a third-party seller through Amazon's platform, which we'll get into in a second. The second reason was because we didn't have to build our own brand. We could sell these other brands through Amazon's platform, so we didn't have to invest into creating a product ourselves and then selling it on our own website. And then the last thing was the fact that Amazon's a search engine in itself. So people are already going on Amazon, they're typing in what they're looking for, they're typing in the brands that they want. Whereas when you have your own brand on your own website, you need to invest in marketing and ads and campaigns just to get your brand and your product in front of other people, because they're not necessarily looking for that. So there was just a lot of advantages going with Amazon FBA versus Shopify in our opinion. And we had already tried Shopify, so we decided to go with Amazon FBA. Our first full month on Amazon was October of 2021. So we've been selling for about 1.5 years now, just under that. And we've done about $1 million in sales, and we're projected to do over $1 million in 2023 alone. So yeah, that's a little bit about just, how we came across Amazon FBA, where we're at now in our business. All right, let's talk about what Amazon FBA actually is, because I feel like a lot of people are pretty confused about what the program and the process actually is for Amazon FBA. So FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. And what, Amazon FBA essentially is a program for third-party sellers to sell items on Amazon's platform. Through this program, Amazon actually stores your product, and then once an item sells, Amazon picks, packs, ships, and delivers the product to the customer for you. And then they deal with the customer service and return as well. A lot of people, including myself before I even started Amazon FBA, had no idea that there's actually third-party sellers on Amazon's platform. And third-party sellers actually make up about 60% of the sales on Amazon. So a lot of the things that you guys are ordering, even the big name brand items, are actually being sold by third-party sellers, not by Amazon itself. They may be fulfilled by Amazon and coming, prime from Amazon fulfillment centers, but the actual seller of the product is a third-party seller. A good way to tell if a product is coming from Amazon, and a good way to tell if the product is actually being sold by Amazon or sold by a third-party seller, is actually looking, here I'll pull it up on my computer, right under the add to cart button, and this will tell you who the product is sold and fulfilled by. So in this case here, this product says sold by Rich Backyards LLC and fulfilled by Amazon. So the seller is actually a third-party seller, which is Rich Backyards, but it's fulfilled by Amazon because he sent the product in through Amazon FBA. So Amazon is actually storing the item at their warehouse, and they're going to fulfill it if we bought it. In this case here, the product is shipped and sold by Amazon.com, which means Amazon is fulfilling it, and Amazon is actually the seller as well. So for anything pretty expensive, now that I know about the third-party, obviously, sellers on the platform, anything expensive like a Canon camera, I've ordered camera equipment for my camera on Amazon, anything like that, I always make sure is shipped and sold by Amazon.com and not a third-party seller, just obviously to kind of protect myself and to make sure it's actually authentic and coming from Amazon. So sellers can also choose to sell on Amazon, but ship the items themselves, which is called FBM, which means fulfillment by merchant. And if an item is fulfilled by merchant, it will say ships and sold by, and then the seller name, not Amazon.com, which means it's never been at an Amazon fulfillment center. It's sitting in that seller's warehouse or their house, and then when you purchase it, they're gonna pack it and ship it to you directly rather than actually coming from Amazon. So the two different ways you can sell on Amazon is through Amazon FBA and Amazon FBM. We probably sell 90% of our units through Amazon FBA, just because it takes that workload off of you, and Amazon takes care of that for you. You still have to prep the items and send them into Amazon's warehouse, but when an item sells, it saves you that time of needing to prep and pack and ship every single unit that sells. We do FBM occasionally, which means, like I said, fulfillment by merchant. We use this typically around the holiday times when we find an item that may not get into the Amazon warehouse in time to be sold to the customer before that holiday. So there are situations where FBM can be better than FBA, but I would say, like I said, 90% of our business is majority FBA, just because we don't want to take the time just to pack and ship every single item that sells. So if I were you guys, I would just focus on learning FBA, and then you can start mixing in FBM as well. Let's talk about the types of business models that you can choose when selling on Amazon. The first type of business model is called retail arbitrage, which is essentially when you go into a retail store, your Targets, your Walmarts, your Walgreens, you find an item that is cheaper in there and that sells more on Amazon, you buy it in store, and then you send it into Amazon's warehouse. So you're going into these retail stores to source your items, you're purchasing them in store, taking them home, and then sending them into Amazon. The second business model is called online arbitrage, and it's essentially retail arbitrage except doing it online. Think of it as almost like online shopping. So you're shopping at these big retail stores, like I said, your Target, your Walmart, your Walgreens, and you're sourcing these items that are profitable, you're ordering them to your house, and then you're sending them into Amazon's marketplace. Probably 60 to 70% of our business is online arbitrage, and then the rest is wholesale, which I'm gonna get into in a second. But starting out, this is the business model that I would really recommend you guys start with. Either start with retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. We've just had more success with online arbitrage personally. The next business model is the wholesale business model, and this is where you actually source these name brand items from distributors or the brands themselves. So you order them in bulk and then you send them into Amazon. I would definitely not recommend starting out with wholesale. Wholesale is an entire different ballgame, you guys. It takes a lot of money up front. You're gonna be putting in $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 orders. You just really need to know the Amazon platform before you take the risk and start purchasing these items in bulk. So we're just now getting into wholesale. We've been doing wholesale for a few months now. And like I said, it probably takes up 30 to 40% of our business now, but it's a completely different grind. I don't even want you guys to even worry about starting with wholesale. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money up front, and it's definitely a good next step when, you know, scaling from, you know, RA or OA into wholesale, but I do not recommend starting out with wholesale. The last business model, which is the fourth business model, is called a private label. You guys, we've all seen those TikToks, those ads of the gurus saying, buy, you know, this item for 30 cents in Alibaba and sell it on Amazon for $20. This is private label, where you're purchasing an item, you're putting your brand on it, and then you're selling it as your own brand on Amazon's platform. Once again, you have to really get to know the Amazon platform, the Amazon fees, the Amazon process before investing into your own brand. We are just now getting into private label and starting that process, and we don't even plan to even, you know, really get into the thick of it until probably July or August, because it takes so much time. It takes market research, and it takes a lot of, you know, capital up front as well. I would say at least have $10,000 to invest into a private label brand. So once again, not something that I would start with. I would say start with retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. They have the lowest barrier to entry. You need the lowest, you know, amount of capital to start, and they're gonna be the easiest for you guys to scale initially. How do you find products to sell on Amazon's platform? So I'm gonna be talking about online arbitrage. This is what a majority of Amazon sellers do when starting out. So when finding products to sell, I've had people ask me if we just go into stores and we see an item that looks like it would sell for more on Amazon, you know, or we just see a sale and we just, you know, kind of guess. There's two different ways you can source for items. The first one is called a manual sourcing, which just means you're manually looking, you know, product by product on a site. If it has a sale, let's say, I know Sephora is having their Rouge sale right now. Let's say you go to Sephora.com, you go through, you know, what's on sale, and you just, you know, search for the product on Amazon and just compare the prices. The second way is called storefront stocking or reverse sourcing. I would say that this is probably the most common sourcing method on Amazon for online arbitrage, and that's essentially going to another seller's storefront and seeing the items that they sell and seeing if you can find them profitably as well, because, you know, the idea is that that seller actually already did the work. They found the items profitably, and if you can kind of reverse their steps and see where they found it, then you can potentially find it profitably as well and sell it. I will say probably about 90% of the products that you look at, even maybe 95% of the products that you look at when storefront stocking, it's not as easy as it sounds. You're not going to be able to find where they found it profitably, whether that's because they found the item on a sale and it's no longer on sale. Maybe it's they had rewards, or they have a discount code that you don't know about. So it's definitely not as easy as it sounds, but like I said, I would say that that's probably a majority of the way that sellers find profitable products on Amazon. How do you know that the product is actually going to sell? So when it comes to making a decision on whether you're gonna buy a product or not, you need to have two different softwares. I want you guys to write this down if you guys are interested in actually starting Amazon, because these are gonna be crucial in your Amazon business. The first software that you need is called Keepa. It's around $20 a month, and it's actually going to let you look at the historical data of an Amazon listing. And the second extension is called SellerAmp or SaaS. Once again, I wanna say this is around $15 or $20 a month. So for both combined, it's about $35 to $40 a month, which is, you know, such a small investment into your Amazon business. And like I said, these are crucial in properly analyzing and making good buying decisions when, you know, sourcing for products on Amazon. So with these two extensions, you can actually see a lot more information about a listing than just a normal consumer would see. So it's really important to look at the historical data of a product, the historical selling price, the historical number of sellers. You want to make sure that the brand themselves is not selling it, because typically they don't like that. And you also want to look at the number of times that the listing actually sells versus the number of sellers, because you don't want to sell on a listing that sells 100 times a month and there's 150 sellers, because more than likely, you know, you're not going to get any sales on that listing. So a big piece of sourcing profitable products on Amazon is actually looking at historical data of listings, doing a lot of data analytics, and then making an educated guess on whether this item is going to be profitable, you know, in 2, 3, 4 weeks. Because if you bought it today, let's say we purchased an item today, it most likely isn't going to be checked into Amazon and ready to sell for at least 2.5 to 3 weeks. Let me tell you guys right now, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make bad buys. You're gonna purchase a product and realize, you know, it's not selling as fast as you thought it would, and that is completely normal. Mistakes are gonna happen, you're gonna misanalyze listings, but these extensions are crucial for the success of your Amazon business and making educated buying decisions. So Keepa will actually tell you all of the historical data of a product, and then SAS or Selleramp, it's called both, but will actually tell you the profit per unit, your return on investment, and your profit margin of that product, essentially how much money that product is gonna make you. Okay, let's talk about who Amazon FBA is actually good for. So I would say Amazon FBA is good for anyone looking to add, you know, another stream of income, or anyone wanting to leave their corporate job and start their own business. I think that Amazon is definitely one of those businesses that you get out what you put into it. And so if you just want to do this as a side hustle after working on the weekends, you can absolutely do that and run a smaller business. But it's definitely possible to get to scale to where you can actually leave your corporate job and, you know, run an online Amazon business. I would definitely recommend starting this as kind of a side hustle, doing this after work on the weekends, building it up a little bit, making sure that this is for you. And then if it's something that you want to go full time with, then absolutely taking that leap. But like I said, yeah, I think it'd be good as a side hustle or for anybody wanting to actually build a business that they can live off of sustainably. I do just want to set some expectations for you guys. It's not easy. It is absolutely not passive income. I see so many just gurus and people online saying they make passive income with Amazon. It is not passive income. It's not easy. It's definitely a grind initially, but it's definitely, in my opinion, worth it, because once you get through, you know, those hard times and, you know, your first even year, it definitely becomes a lot easier. But like I said, yeah, it's not easy and it's definitely not passive. Okay, let's say you're like, okay, Kaylan, this all sounds great. I want to start Amazon. What do I actually need to get started? So I would say you need to set at least $500 aside for your initial supplies. So you're definitely going to need a label printer. Rollo or Dynamo are really good brands for that. You're gonna need, you know, your poly bags, your labels, your boxes. So about $500 for all of that, the initial supplies. I will have a doc link for you guys down below with links to all of the initial supplies that you're gonna need. And then I would say about $500 for initial inventory, and this is minimum. So I would say minimum for starting Amazon, you need about $1,000. Now this doesn't have to be, and I'm always hesitant to talk about credit cards because I never want anyone to think that, you know, just to go max out their credit card and not have the money to pay it off. But that having a credit and utilizing credit cards will absolutely help you start and scale your Amazon business. So, you know, we put all of our inventory on interest-free credit cards. We have since we started, and then when we get our payouts from Amazon, we just take that money to pay off our credit cards. Currently, we're spending about $50,000 to $80,000 a month on inventory. That is all on credit, and then we use our Amazon payouts, like I said, to pay them off. So we're essentially using the bank's money, we're borrowing the bank's money to purchase our inventory and then paying it off once we get our payout. Like I said though, be smart with this because it is very easy to rack up a lot of credit card debt on inventory, especially when you're starting out and they may not be, you know, the best buys. And so you essentially don't want to be left with a lot of debt on your credit cards and not have the inventory to pay it off. So, but yeah, like I said though, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what we do with our Amazon business. I know a lot of other Amazon sellers do this as well, and it has really helped us scale personally. And I think that it will help you guys as well, but you just have to be, like I said, smart with it and make sure you're not, you know, putting too much debt on your credit cards. Okay, I think that's it for the Amazon FBA section. I want to talk a little bit more about just like self-employment tips and tricks in general. But like I said, I will have a doc link down below for you guys with all of the initial supplies that you guys are going to need to start your own Amazon business. If you have any questions about Amazon FBA, definitely make sure to comment them down below. I do just want to say though, one thing, I've gotten this question a lot, one thing I will never answer, and it's not just me, it's just kind of a thing in the Amazon space, is I will never tell you guys specific products that we actually currently sell, and I will never link our storefront for you guys for obvious reasons. We put in a lot of time and hard work to find these items profitably, and obviously the more sellers on a listing, the more competition we have, which means the less sales that we're gonna get. So we never give our specific products away. You will find that majority of Amazon sellers don't. Just please, please, please do not ask me that because that is something that I am not gonna give out. Okay, moving on to self-employment tips. The first thing I wanna cover is how I actually left my 9-to-5 job and started a business. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I had kind of already planned to start a business, to do entrepreneurship. I just wasn't expecting that to be the time. But by the time that Devin and I had both left our jobs, we actually had a year's worth of savings up front, you know, in case we did not make another dollar on our business, we had our rent paid up, our bills paid up, and this definitely allowed us to scale and grow our Amazon business comfortably because we weren't scrambling to, oh, we need to make sure that we make $3,000 profit this month to be able to pay the bills. It allowed us to really focus on learning the process rather than just, making money really quickly. And I feel like in turn, that actually helped us make money pretty quickly. But preparation is key when making that transition from your corporate job into self-employment. No matter if it's Amazon, no matter if it's your photography business, just making sure that you have enough money, or maybe your business is built up enough to where you can afford to leave your corporate job and rely on that full time. And I know not everybody's in that situation to do that. So that's why I say you don't need to quit your job cold turkey and start Amazon FBA. Start it on the side, start it on the weekend, start it after work. Make sure that this is something that you want to do. Start growing your business, start making a profit off of it, so that way the transition's a little bit smoother rather than just quitting your job and then trying to learn Amazon at the same time. And not even Amazon, just your business in general. Whatever business you want to start, I would recommend try to do it as a side hustle first and then slowly, gradually work your way into doing that full time. Another thing that is crucial when leaving your corporate job to start your business or to work on your business full time is your mindset. Mindset is key. You really have to be in the mindset to go all in on your business and understand that it's gonna be hard. You're gonna probably put yourself in a lot harder of a situation than if you would have stayed at your job. You're gonna have to work more. You're gonna make less money. You're not gonna have benefits. And so it's going to be really hard. So you have to be in that mindset of just understanding that it's gonna be hard and just grinding it out for the first year, 2 years, even 3 years, no matter how long it takes to become successful. Because the reality is that most businesses take some time, even, a year to become profitable or to really produce enough profits for you to actually take money out of your business and be comfortable. So you have to be in that mindset of just that go, 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 that hustle and grind, because it is going to be hard, but it will definitely be worth it. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to talk about are my biggest tips for success when starting a business. This kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about, but the first tip that I have for you guys when starting any business is to reinvest your profits. This is gonna help you grow significantly faster. It's almost like a big snowball. It kind of compounds on top of each other. So I'm gonna kind of relate it back to Amazon because it is an inventory-based business. But essentially, when you purchase inventory to sell, let's say you sell it, you take the profits and you use that to also buy more inventory. Reinvesting your profits is gonna allow you to buy more inventory, which that inventory is gonna make you more money than if you reinvest your profits back in. Then you can purchase even more inventory, which can make you even more profit, and it essentially snowballs and compounds on top of each other. Obviously, everybody's situation is different. If you're doing this as a side hustle, you can probably take money out of your business a lot sooner, but especially if you want to go full time, I would say don't even take any money out of your business for at least a year to really get it going, get it off the ground, start making a good profit, and then you can slowly start paying yourself out of your business, obviously depending on where you're at, but I would say at least try to make it a year. And that's why it's so important to have a solid savings, so that way you can, keep that money in the business without taking it out for yourself. The next tip that I have when starting a business is to always remember your why. Like I mentioned, it's gonna be tough, you guys. It's not as nice or as go with the flow as it sounds when you're initially starting your business. Obviously, once your business is at scale, that's when you really have the time freedom. But when you're initially starting your business, you're gonna have to work, a lot more probably than you were at your corporate job, making less, like I said. And a really hard thing about entrepreneurship is a lot of your friends and family are probably not gonna see the same vision or dream as you. And so there's gonna be doubt surrounding you as well. So starting out, it's gonna be tough. You may feel like no one agrees with what you're doing, with the decisions that you're making, but knowing your why and keeping that in front of you is really gonna help you get through the hard times and push to keep going. No one really talks about the initial struggles of starting your business. It is, like I've been saying, it is hard, it is stressful, but the question is it worth it? Obviously, because here I am talking about this self-employed, it is worth it to me, but you have to decide if it's worth it for you as well. Once you get through the hard times, the grind, you can work significantly less and make significantly more than your 9-to-5 job, but you just have to work significantly more now to work less later. So you have to put in that work, put in that grind up front. The time freedom and the financial freedom will come, but there's definitely a reason why so many people want to be entrepreneurs, so many people want to start their own business, and such a small percentage actually do. It's definitely not a get rich quick type of thing, and you have to decide, like I said, if it's actually worth it to you to take that risk, to put in that time, time to put in that hard work and effort. To wrap it up though, I do just want to say that Amazon FBA is a great business model, you guys. You can absolutely build wealth off of Amazon FBA. But like I said, I do just want to set realistic expectations for you guys. And the really nice thing about Amazon as well is once you get your business going, you can actually outsource different pieces of it. So you can outsource your sourcing. So we have 2 product sourcing specialists that actually source the products for us. And then you can also outsource your prep. So we actually send probably about 70% of our inventory to a prep center, and they actually prep the items to send them into an Amazon fulfillment center. So that way, you know, we never touch or see the items, and it gives us that location freedom. All right, you guys, but I think that wraps up this video. I did also want to mention that Devin and I were actually on a podcast, I think it was August of last year. So our business was a little bit smaller, but we were invited on the Buy Box Bandits podcast, which is a great podcast for anybody wanting to get into Amazon FBA. They essentially just interview Amazon FBA sellers, and they talk about how they started their business, where they're at now, and keys to success. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, I will also have that link down below for you guys. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below and I'll be sure to answer them. But I think that's it. Hopefully you guys, you know, found some value in this video. Hopefully it's the video that you guys have been waiting for, because like I said, I've been getting so many requests for this. So hopefully it kind of gave some clarity on what my business is and what I actually do, you know, pretty much day to day. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.